Today I'm gonna be drawing Charmander, and he's gonna be torching a custard tart. So, I actually laid out all my references on the right-hand side. So, top right, you can see my sketch of Charmander that I drew a few minutes ago. And then also a reference of Charmander himself and some food, plating, and then references of the fire as well. Okay, so as usual, we'll start with the food. In the background gray, just as a starting point. And I will do the plate of the food first before I get into the plate, just because I know I'm going to be working on a single layer. I'm going to add some shadows to the plate as well. And the plate that I'm using is actually not the plate that we see with the custard tart reference, but rather the plate of the apple pie. And that's because I thought that it's probably easier to paint. And I just think it looks pretty aesthetic. And the reason why I like to do the plate first, because I know it's going to get covered by the custard. And because I'm working with one layer, the order of operations does matter. Because otherwise, if I draw something that's supposed to go on top of it first, and then I draw the plate afterwards, I kind of have to kind of paint the object around it. If that makes sense. It's just easier to kind of paint over rather than around something. That's why I do it that way. It doesn't look anything like a custard right now, but that's okay. I'll fill in all the details later. For now, I'm just blocking in some of the big chunks of color. Always getting the big ideas in first. Here I'm adding in the occlusion shadows, which are the very deep shadows that you see at points of contact between objects. Basically, no light will ever hit that level area. Now, occlusion shadows, I think, usually don't take up much space, but in the small areas that you do add them, they make a huge difference. I'm gonna make the plate a little bigger, so that's a little bit small relative to the size of the custard tart. Draw some of the highlights of the plate. Okay, I'm gonna darken the bottom of the plate. I'm flipping the image over because I know for sure it's lopsided and definitely is. So this is a good chance for me to fix some of that lopsidedness. It's because I think it's quite natural for us to draw slightly leaning to one side. Just kind of have to make sure that you control for that. Now I'm gonna draw the Charmander, and I will bring him fairly close to the plate, breathing fire over the custard tart. And be breathing fire very hard. Wrong row. That was a bit challenging, painting without lines. And I think I just like the process ever since I kind of discovered it. I found it pretty liberating. It's a bit difficult, but it's like, I don't know, because digital art is so forgiving, I don't really mind it so much. You can kind of already tell, you kind of already see the Charmander coming to life here. I am going to give him a bit of a shiny head. His head is quite round. And I decided to put Charmander on the separate layer below the food. So it's easier for me. So I don't have to, you know, be careful with the custard tart or anything like that, because I already started painting the custard. I'm gonna make his arm a little stubbier. I'm gonna add a little bit of chubbiness to his thighs. have an existing Charmander print right now, and it's funny because people always ask me if I have a Charizard. Technically, I do. I've drawn Charizard before, but it was a commission, and the commissioner asked me to not have it resold as a print, so it is not for sale, and I haven't redrawn Charizard since then in like as a new piece, so I might eventually do it, but yeah, I haven't done it so far. Let me bring Charmander's arm a little closer to his face. Basically, I think one of the hardest things for me is to get into that like chibi aesthetics. I know some people are really good at it. Like I follow one artist, her name is Birdrian, and she has the most like the cutest pins. And I don't think I could ever draw things as cute as she can. I think for me, my style is just it just doesn't naturally come to me, that cutesy style. And this time, just as a change, I will mostly paint out the face of the Charmander. Usually I like to leave the face and like most of the Pokemon for last, but I will draw a good chunk of it now, just so I can like have the eyes in there, you know? Because otherwise, because my style or my preference is to draw the eyes as one of the last elements, but I guess it's not a very good viewing experience when for you guys if you see an eyeless Charmander. Charmander is one of the Pokemon that are available in Pokopia, and I think the way that they rendered, or I guess like that they modeled the Pokemon there and like colored their models is like really nice compared to some of the mainline games. So I find that for some reason the mainline games, the Pokemon tend to look a bit washed out in terms of the colors. But in Pokopia, they look so good. Like they look so vibrant. Charmander is super orange from what I remember. And then Dragonair 2 is super blue. And I'm just like glad they're adding the colors back to the Pokemon. I'm guessing, like, I don't know if it was like an artistic decision or if it was like, I don't know if it's harder for a game console to render better colors, but they've been doing a really good job in some of the spin-off games. Like I think Legends ZA. Looks pretty good too. It's just they have to kind of step up their game, I think, with the mainline series. So here's hoping to do that for the next gen game called Winds and Waves. Really hoping that it looks good and plays good. To be quite honest, I don't usually do very expressive drawings. So sometimes I find this a bit challenging. Let's make the eye a little smaller. Just gonna fill in the gaps that I just made. darken the inside of his mouth a little bit, so it's easier for people to see the mouth. I'm gonna fix his arm here too. It's bothering me a bit. Make its head a bit taller at the top. And that's more like it, because Charmander's head isn't that squished. I'm gonna make his mouth bigger. And play with the size of it. I'm never good at drawing open mouths. we'll leave him like that for now. It's not like I'm going to be finishing his face anytime soon. It's just kind of like a rough, anyway. It's definitely not the final version. So I definitely know this song. It's from some Ghibli movie, but I can't recall which one. Let's go back to the food now. Coloring orangey kind of red tones is always interesting because there's so much depth to it. There's like yellows and the lightest bits, browns, like very deep browns in the darkest bits. It does make it a bit challenging. To be super finicky with how I chose my colors, and so I always worry that, you know, like I had to pick specific colors that looked good. But every color has its part, usually. You know, if a color looks great or washed out, it's still necessary because it adds depth and contrast to the brighter and more vibrant colors. Now we're starting to work on the flakes, the flaky, what's that called? The outer layer, the crust. Yeah, that's it. Here I'm drawing a Portuguese tart. The egg tarts that I grew up with were Hong Kong style. And they have two versions there. They have one where it's a butter kind of crust. And then they have another type which is flaky. It's always a bit of a debate as to which one is better. I personally like the butter one because they're cleaner to eat. I also even have like a variation called like a milk tart. Which I loved as a kid, but you don't really find it in a lot of places. Maybe it's not very popular, I'm not sure. But I live in Toronto, and it's very difficult to find it, at least in downtown. Also drawing the aluminum liner that it's in. I was watching a color theory video today, and I was listening to the artist who was saying that you can kind of play around with colors a lot. Unlike values, values are very much rigid, values being lightness and darkness. But for color, as long as you stay within the same value range, you can kind of you can color it however you want. Like there's a lot of freedom to your colors. So I am trying to experiment a little bit with that. Normally I would try to stick as close to the reference as possible, but I am trying to stop doing that as often. I want to have fun with art. And I find that sometimes when I'm doing art as, you know, a way to make new products for people to buy, I do find that I kind of lose that sort of sense of fun that I used to have as a kid. So I think it's important to still find at least to enjoy art, to be able to express yourself. Like, sure, you have to still pump out new things. That doesn't mean it has to be unenjoyable. So, hearing tips like that does keep me motivated. It keeps me trying to learn as an artist, and also, trying to find ways to express myself. And another tip that I learned from a different artist is that you don't have to go darker necessarily. If you actually increase the intensity of your color, that naturally actually makes it be perceived as like a deeper value when you increase the intensity. So I'll probably eventually fiddle around with that too. Right now I think I'm still quite shy with my experimentation. Oh, intensity is just, I guess it's just saturation. Like a hot pink versus a pastel pink. The hot pink would be more intense. I made the mistake of drawing the little lines here on the liner before actually doing the shading on the body. So what I should have done, because I'm working on one layer, I really should be shading like big masses like this first, and then going over it with the little lines. I guess technically I'm not working on one layer, technically I'm working on two, because Charmander's on a separate layer. like basically fighting myself from working too much on the center. Because I think the center is going to be the most important part. I kind of want to build everything around it first. It's weird like that. And custard tarts have these like really beautiful, like amber kind of elements to them. Got that lovely top. So I'll come back to that. I'm gonna work on the rest of the crust. Is that what it's called, the crust? I am not a baker. The only thing that I ever baked was an apple pie. It's good, but once you learn how much butter is in an apple pie, you basically never want to eat one again. I still do, because I love McDonald's apple pie. Guilty pleasure, really cheap. Time to get one for a midnight snack. I was rewatching myself in my older streams from earlier this week. So I realized that I put down a lot of strokes that I feel like I don't need to. Like I see myself doing the motion of applying like a brush stroke. And I'm like, I don't even know if this is doing anything when I'm rewatching it. I'm like, why am I even doing this? I feel like I waste a lot of time doing that. It still doesn't look like a custard tart right now. And that's because I haven't added the nice little the glossy shine to it. I think what makes it look really appealing is that gloss at the top. So I'll add that at the very end, just like how I usually do for most highlights. Let's draw the plate. This track is from Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, which is, I believe it's one of the earliest Ghibli films. I think technically they weren't established as Ghibli at the time, but nowadays it's basically considered a Ghibli film. It's one of my favorite films as a kid, and I think it really helped kind of instill that environmentalism mindset in me as a child. That and like watching a lot of Crocodile Hunter, just a lot of nature shows. As a kid, I was a bit cynical actually, because in my mind, I'm like, I can't believe humans are doing such awful things to, you know, the animals or the environment. And as an adult, I think you're still very cynical, but you become desensitized to it. You know it goes on, but you feel a little helpless. A little helpless. In Nausicaa, the track that was playing earlier, a big theme or a big plot point was trying to preserve the forests that, you know, some of the forests that the humans wanted to destroy in that movie. And looking back, I'm surprised that I liked it as a kid, because it does have some pretty heavy themes in there. A lot of politics too. Watching Ghibli films really made me turn my nose up at Disney films. I think they really made me appreciate a good movie. As a kid, I liked Nausicaa, but as an adult, I think I really do appreciate Porco Rosso a lot. Yeah, so I didn't know. Yeah, in Porco Rosso there was a biplane, or a lot of biplanes actually, and I didn't even know that was called a biplane until my boyfriend told me. And then the first time I saw a biplane in real life, I was like, oh my god, they had that in Porco Rosso. That was in Vancouver on their waterfront. Biplanes are so cool, so much cooler than regular planes. And then you gotta appreciate how much machinery was animated in Ghibli films. It's very complex, and they're so beautifully drawn. In Porco Rosso, they even show diagrams of like a plane design, because at one point Porco has to get his plane repaired, and there's a young girl who's helping him get it repaired. She's looking at the diagrams. Yeah, really cool movie. Actually having second thoughts about this plate. I don't know if I like it. I guess it is a bit weird to have this kind of plate for tart. I'm trying to make it shallower. I think I'm ready to start adding the highlights to this tart. I don't know, what do you think of the plate? It's a bit odd, right? Just too big. Is that the problem? Okay. I'll try shrinking it. How's that? I'm gonna bring it in a bit. So this is what it is now. What it was before. It was a little bit better. I'm gonna try the other side too. You know what it is? I think it's just too high up. Like, I think here, it's just too high. Like, I think I just need to be a bit lower. That's it. Let me try that. Oops. Yeah, it's better. Maybe I should just make it like a little dish, like a very shallow dish. I just delete at the bottom. Don't think it needs that like big, like that deepness. Especially because it's just a tart. I think that looks pretty good. I think people will think it's a creme brulee. It's okay. It is what it is. People think different things all the time. Yeah, a lot of people think my chocobo paste is Zapdos in soup. I'm sure. Whatever you want it to be. If you prefer it to be Zapdos, it can be Zapdos. The funny thing is, I don't think I ever chose Charmander as my starter, like ever. Actually, no, that's not true. I did try it once in Leaf Green. But then I remember I hated it because, like, the first gym, I was stuck using Metal Claw on Onyx or Geodude or whatever in Brock's gym. Don't know if I stuck. I feel like I did not stick with that playthrough. I tried it, didn't like it. Yeah, it was basically because I swear in the original Red and Blue, they didn't have that. So it was like not really a crutch because I think like I'm sure it turned people off of Charmander. But I guess that's the point, right? Like if you want the cool lizard, you kind of have to earn it. Like you have kind of have to work with it. I think I remember even Oak, like Professor Oak, he would say like, "Oh, you have to be patient raising this guy," because well, he didn't elaborate, but I think they made it obvious that I think Bulbasaur was the easiest one to start with because it was advantageous against most of the gyms at the beginning. Yeah, most people just played and picked whatever they thought was cool. I think when I played back then, I didn't realize that's what it meant when he was saying like, "Oh, Bulbasaur is like easy to raise" or something like that. Like I didn't realize that was what they were talking about. I was like, whatever. I just like Bulbasaur anyway. Oh, hi, I. Thank you. Yeah, obviously I haven't drawn in the flames yet, but he will be torching that the little almost like creme brulee, but it's not. It's a custard tart or a nata. I'm not sure if, like, everyone knows that natas are called natas. Like, I think it's a pretty common way of saying it. I think you can also call them like a custard tart. So I'm just gonna play it safe and call it a custard tart in case people don't know what a nata is. Like, I think kids might not know what a nata is, but I think they can like conceptually understand what a custard tart is. I think the most challenging part might be adding the flames. I've drawn flames before in my Cyndaquil piece, but to be honest, I don't think they were very convincing. I'm kind of hoping this time I can improve on that a bit. So let's maybe we'll do like a bit of a warm up and do the flames on Charmander's tail first, just to get a feel of how I want the flames to look. And then after that, we'll try the flames that he's blowing onto the tart. Yeah, that's true. Cyndaquil's flames look kind of weird to begin with, like in the actual like anime and games. They look a bit like 2D for some reason. I don't know why they did it that way. Like, I guess it's cute. Oh, hi Kaizuka, thank you so much for your comment. Yeah, I try to make my art style like, I don't know, I guess you could call it painterly. I try to use like really big broad strokes. And I think I've gotten like comments from convention attendees and they say that they like how bold my like the brushstrokes are in the piece. So I'm glad people noticed. And it was kind of hard for me to adapt to it because you do have to be very like okay with leaving imperfections in there. Let's try drawing flames. I have a few references of flames. There's a um, there's a picture of a guy blowing flames, and a guy with the I think that's what's that called, a flamethrower? Yeah, I think that's called a flamethrower, which would make sense. So that's what it's called in the game. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, I think the past 2 days I didn't have the references up for you guys to see. Like, I showed it at the beginning of the stream. Then I realized it's probably better for you guys if I actually showed it on the screen. So I overlaid it now. So hopefully that kind of helps you see what I see for the references. not sure what I want to draw tomorrow. Originally, actually, for the this custard tart, I was going to have Cyndaquil kind of like burn it. Excuse me. But I don't know. I just thought like Charmander doing it would be cool. And then like, cause Cyndaquil has the flames in its back, right? So I feel like I could make it somehow maybe like, I don't know, interact with the food using the flames on its back. But I haven't decided like how yet. So in my print, I had it like toasting s'mores. I don't know if I want to do that again. Like I don't always want to repeat like what I did in my prints. So I'm just having a tough time decide what to draw. And then I was debating if I wanted to do Mimikyu today, like Mimikyu and maybe pumpkins, but I already did that for a print too. So I don't know, decisions. I have to figure it out. This is what I think about during my day job, basically. I'll be honest, I do search for like references and think of poses and stuff like that as I'm working in my accounting job. So luckily for accounting, it's not like you're working all the time. Like you're not working a full 8 hours usually, unless it's like we're closing the books for the month, then it's a bit busy. I don't like it bending like this. Yeah, I think I like it like this more. You want me to draw Joltik on a regular apple pie? Well, the funny thing is, today, I only realized today that Joltik is not a spider. It's a tick. Because it's like, it likes to attach onto things, kind of like a tick. I was like, what? I'm like, how come it evolves into Galvantula then? Which is like, I guess it's based on like a tarantula, right? So I'm like, is it a tick or is it a spider? Anyway, my mind was blown today. Also, if I ever say that I'm done with a piece, and then you guys feel like something looks very, very off, let me know, because sometimes I like don't realize it as I'm drawing. Like obviously, like if I'm working on it still, maybe you don't have to point it out. But if I feel like I'm done, but you're like, wait, it's still like something looks really off, Just let me know. Sometimes I'm a bit oblivious to that. And you look at a piece for too long and then you're like, ah, everything looks good to me. I think I need to give it some nostrils. Let me just see on the official art where they're placed. Looks weird. It looks weird without a nose too, doesn't it? I think I can't draw. Like I can't not draw. It feels a bit weird. If I draw a nose, it kind of looks like a human baby, and it kind of creeps me out. Okay, I'm gonna leave it noseless for now and see if I can get away with it. Nostrils just make it look really weird. Well, you know what? Since there's a flame kind of behind its head, I'm gonna make the back of its head also reflect that flame light, because that's what it should be doing. Maybe hide his lack of nose with embers when you do the fire. Yeah, I probably should, right? Like, I think when it does when I do the fire, it's probably gonna hide some of the face. Yeah, let's do that. It's not because I can't draw a nose. It's not because I don't know how to place 2 dots on the face. It's just because the embers are there. Good call. Let's do that. Okay. I do have to do its claws too, actually. But maybe, like Kaizaka said, maybe the embers will cover it, so I don't actually have to do it. But I will have to do the ones over here. Okay. I don't know how many fingers it has. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Also, it has 4. Oh, the feet. Good point. Yeah, that's what I mean. I literally forget like everything. If you don't tell me, like this guy would probably not have a mouth or something, because I'm so like forgetful. Weird, it has 4 fingers, but 3, like, foot claw things, based on the official art. I don't know if I want to give it foot claws. I don't know how I want the feet laid out. Just leave it at that for now, because to be honest, it's so small of a component. I actually feel like maybe I need to shrink this more. I'm awful at this chibi stuff, by the way. Yeah, let's work on the flames first. We'll fix his, what are these called? Extremities? We'll fix his extremities later. Oh, thank you. Yes, he is super round. Getting a little pudgy. Eating too many of these tarts, I guess. Honestly, once the Canadian government actually like made businesses show how many calories are in like a food item, and like I go to, I don't know, like a chain cafe, and then they'll like have the calories listed, and I look at I don't know, like a single croissant or cookie, and it's like 200-300 calories. I'm like, oh my god, because like I think my maintenance is somewhere around 1500 or something like that. So if I want to lose weight, I basically just can't even afford to eat any of that, except maybe on like a cheat day. Okay, ember time. Let's look at our flamethrower dudes. Yeah, pudgy. That's what he is, isn't he? It's just pudgy. Full of pudge. Okay, how big do I want these flames to be? So the nice thing is, because we have some of the flames already illustrated on his tail, I can kind of just color drop the colors. And let's have flames come up like this. And get a little darker. So I don't want it like covering too much of the tart. I worked hard on that, man. I don't want to cover that. Let's not make it too high. Let's keep it low. How do I blend my colors? Um, oh, I guess like what helps me is keeping it on the same layer. And then like in Paint Tool side, I think I keep my blending at 50-ish. I don't really know what that means, to be honest. And then it just kind of does it like so like okay, like if I have like one color here and then I blend another color, right? And then you see how there's like that sort of mixed color, and then you can have like a lighter color, so then that can blend in. So I don't know, the tool just kind of does it for me. I don't know if other drawing programs are like this. I tried Photoshop many years ago, and I found Paint Tool side just the brush felt better for some reason. It felt really smooth. Oh, you've been using Psy for a decade and you've never seen that blending slide. Oh, so I think it's new for Paint Tool Side 2. This is version 2 and it's technically I think still in like a development phase, so it's not officially like it's not a final stable version, but it's like good enough that I think it's good to use in my opinion. And I think it's a free upgrade if you already have Side 1. Well, I think Side 1 the blending is about the same as Side 2. I don't think I noticed a difference in quality. So yay, the fellow Psy user. It's God, man. Sometimes people ask me what tool I use, and I'll tell them Paint Tool Psy, and they're like, Paint Tool what? That was so like old, right? It's like a really old school tool. Like, dude, I feel so old. You get dunked on for using Psy? Who dunks on you? Dude, I can't afford a tablet, okay? Like, I don't want to buy an iPad to draw. I already have this, like, so I use like a tablet called a Gaomon. I think it's just like a subsidiary of Huon. So it's like, it's just another Chinese tablet brand. And I've been using this for a very long time. Your friends are art bullies. That's why you have to show them like a nice piece of art and just show them like this is what Sai can do. Don't laugh at this. It's like a one-man team behind it. It's literally one dude in Japan just like programming this stuff. Like, good for him. Wait, I was supposed to cover the nose. Fuck. Wait, can I? No. I don't think it makes sense actually. I don't think I can get it. I don't think I can get it to cover. Unfortunately, it just looks a bit weird. Because it would have to like, pew. Yeah, it's okay. I'll figure out the nostrils. Thank you for the suggestion. Shirtless Ashen glasses. I guess the one thing with Pokopia is like, yeah, it's kind of like Animal Crossing, but to my knowledge, I don't think you can actually get the Pokemon to wear certain clothes, which I get because like you kind of want to see them as Pokemon and not like kind of anthropomorphized things. Safety goggles because fire is dangerous. Charmander commands the fire. He doesn't need safety. He's a pro. That's why he's torching this. He is the flamethrower. He is the blowtorch. Yeah, these days I think most like young people, and when I mean young, I mean like, I don't know, like 20 and under, or sorry, 20 something and under. I think everyone just uses Procreate, right? Mr. Mime is just a guy. I had Mr. Mime creeping on one of my islands, and it's funny because in Pokopia, to get him to spawn, you have to like build this environment for him where it's like made of, I don't know, it's like a toilet and like a sink and a hand towel or something like that. So I just like put him in a bathroom. Like I built a habitat in the bathroom. So like he spawned randomly one day and he's just creeping in the bathroom. This is kind of I don't know. It's just a bit weird. Mr. Mime was always been weird. Mr. Mime lives with Ash's mom. Isn't that kind of weird? Put him in the Sims pool and delete the ladder. I actually wonder if like Pokemon that can't swim, like if they program them to be able to swim in Pokopia. Like I'm pretty sure you can push Pokemon into like to move them like very slowly. I'm sure they program something. I know Eevee can doggy paddle. Anyway, that game has been taking over my life. My boyfriend made the mistake of buying it for me. And a Switch too. So, it's just taken over a lot of my free time. But now I'm really like kind of focusing on making more art because I do have a lot of conventions coming up. So I can't be lazy. I'm limiting my my boyfriend has put controls in. He's like, you can't play Pokopia unless you draw on that day. So he's nice though. Sometimes he'll let me just play a little bit during the day. But yeah, speaking of putting people in a pool and deleting the ladder, I did that all the time in Sims. I don't know if the latest, like Sims 4, which I think is the most recent one, I don't know if you can still do that because I think so. I have it, and from what I recall, I think they made it so that the Sims can just climb out of the pool without a ladder, which logically makes sense. That's a bit of a shame because that was always like the go-to kill method. Okay, let's add some little stray flame sparks. It's funny because if I make it white, it's not going to show up on the sticker, I think. It will show up on the keychain. To make this flame a little darker. I think it's a bit too light. which is a bit odd because I guess like when you think about it, the flame is really a light source, but even in like flame, there's still shadow. Or there's different values. I don't know what you could call it a shadow. Say. I'm just gonna do like random dark spots. Give it a little more contrast. Don't know what I'm doing. So I don't draw fire normally. Okay, I know right now it doesn't look like the flame is interacting with the tart. Don't worry, because I'm gonna add the lighting layer later. A little dark, right? These spots. Okay. You're right. I think the center needs to be a bit brighter, actually. So I wanted to contrast the rest. Oh, sorry, I realized that I was like drawing very zoomed out, so you guys can't even see anything. I always do that. I actually like drawing very zoomed out because it just makes me make sure that big picture, everything looks okay. Alright, so I'm going to do a bit of a cheat code here. I'm going to up the contrast of this fire. Try and... do I want it up or do I want it down? So I'm actually going to lower the brightness because I know I'm going to add a shine layer later. I'm also going to do the same for his tail. I'm going to do like that little cheat code here. Okay, and then for the rest of the Charmander, I'm also going to fix it because right now it's looking a little bit dull compared to the rest of the piece. Again, fixing that contrast. I'll up the brightness a little bit too. That's pretty good. I'm actually going to get rid of the gray background. Okay. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Even when it's white, it looks pretty good. Okay, I am good to merge all the layers now. And then I'm also going to just add a little, what I guess they call a water fringe. It's basically like a, oh, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. Normally I add like an outline using the program. But I think in this case, because there's fire, the outline doesn't really belong there. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to do it kind of old school. And I'm going to draw the line on a separate layer. And I'll just manually do it. Normally I do this, like I do the water fringe method to save time. So that I don't have to manually do it. But in this case, because the fire doesn't really need a line. Gonna have to give a Charmander line art manually. Doing things backwards. Doing line art last. I should think it doesn't really need that much line. You know, I just want to make sure that for lines, you don't make it too harsh. You can make them thick, but I don't like making the color like too much darker than the color that it's bordering. So then it looks just a little harsh for me. Oh, Kaisuke, you use crayon? I have never, like, I don't think I've ever used crayon before. I think I have it somewhere. Oh, maybe they don't call it crayon here, or maybe I deleted it. It was binary version 1. Is that version 1? Oh yes. Oh, there's a crayon. Wait, did they delete that here? Oh, weird. Maybe I deleted it. Yeah, brush is nice. So for brush, I like to use I don't know if the name is exactly the same because I'm using version 2, but like I like using a flat bristle. I think flat face works too. Just like a big bold brush. Yeah, brush textures are always interesting. And then you can even make it like even more interesting because I think you can add like an additional texture to whatever like brush you use. I thought about doing that, but then I was like, oh, my brush strokes are pretty like bold as it is. I don't know if I need more. So I just haven't done it. Maybe one day. But for now I think I'm okay. But yeah, Sai is great. It's like lightweight, it's simple to use. No complaints. I've never hated Sai in my life. The only problem is I think sometimes setting it up. I know I had issue with it working on my screen tablet. Like it wouldn't, I need to like, I don't know, fix my display somehow. Like I think it was a resolution problem. So like where I was putting my pen down, it was just like not aligned with the cursor. So it was like off. And it took me like a century to fix it. Let's see here. There's something wrong with the plate. I think it just looks too dull. I'm gonna give it a bit more shine, I think. Yeah, it needs a bit more shine. And I think you're right. I think my Charizard, or sorry, my Charmander's like overweight. Ah, damn. I'm gonna have to make it lose a bit of weight. The fluffy biscotti trimming program. There we go. Belly's a bit big, isn't it? You know, they never talk about food that much in Pokemon, do they? You know, they vaguely talk about how, like, James from Team Rocket wanted to eat his Magikarp at one point when he was starving, but I think aside from that, they don't talk much about food in general and, like, weight. I'm sure there are overweight Pokemon. Like, a Snorlax can be overweight. Why can't Charmander be overweight? Definitely possible. Not that I'm fat shaming Charmander. He's just a baby, so he's allowed to be a little chubby. Okay, I don't know if the lack of nose really bothers me. I know what bothers me is the shape of the head. It's always Charmander. For some reason, I cannot get the shape of his head right. So, like, am I supposed to make it... Hold on. That also looks wrong. Oh my god. You know what? I'm just gonna keep it like this. I'm gonna attempt the nose one more time. If I cannot get it, I'm just gonna leave it, and I'm gonna move on to the flames. And I may have to fix it post-stream. Sure. It's not even visible, but sure. Okay, moving on. I'm gonna add a lighting layer, the shine layer. I think in version 1 it might be called something else, I don't remember. I'm gonna select a dark brown. And this is where the magic happens. I am going to make the fire globe. Oh, thank you. I'm glad the nose doesn't look weird. This is where the magic happens, and I make everything look super light and glowy. And I will fix it. I know it looks very harsh right now. Trust me, this is how I've been doing it, and I think the effect looks pretty good. Just gonna have to decrease, I think, the strength of this layer, like the opacity. and delete part of this. Okay. Oh, look at that. That doesn't look too bad. Okay, I think that's it for tonight then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Always appreciate it. So I will be on again tomorrow around the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you guys want, feel free to join again tomorrow. And I will maybe draw Joltik or BBQ, maybe? I haven't decided yet. So thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone.